You wake in darkness, not because it's early, but because your home has no real windows. Just a small opening covered with oiled cloth that barely lets light through. The air is thick with smoke from last night's fire, mixing with the smell of damp earth, unwashed bodies, and the animals sleeping a few feet from where you lay. Your bed is a pile of straw on the ground, shared with whoever else fits. Sometimes that's family. Sometimes it's the pig. Your back aches before you even stand. It always aches. By the time you're 20, your spine has already learned the shape of endless bending. By 30, you walk like someone twice your age. This is normal. This is what bodies do here. They break down under work that never stops, and there's no one coming to fix them. You rise because staying down means falling behind. And falling behind means hunger. The floor beneath your feet is packed dirt, hardened by years of footsteps and spilled everything. You reach for bread from yesterday, if there is any. It's hard enough to hurt your gums. You dip it in water to soften it, chewing slowly because this might be most of what you eat today. This is medieval Europe. And if you are here, truly here, as a peasant, there is one thing you must understand before anything else. You do not own your life, not your time, not your labor, not even your children. Everything you are belongs to someone else, and that arrangement is not negotiable. You did not choose to be a peasant. No one does. You were born into it, and unless something extraordinary happens, you will die in it. Your father was a peasant. His father was a peasant. Your children will be peasants. This is not temporary. This is your bloodline's permanent position. Most peasants are serfs. A serf is not quite a slave, but the difference is smaller than anyone admits. You are bound to the land, legally tied to it. You cannot leave without permission from your lord. You cannot move to another village, take a job in a town, or decide one day that you'd rather be somewhere else. If you run, you are hunted and returned. The land you work is not yours. It belongs to the Lord. You work his fields several days a week, however many he demands. During harvest, you work his land before your own. His crops get gathered while yours rot if there's not enough time. This is not optional. This is law. You also owe rent. Not in money because you rarely have money, but in produce. Grain, eggs, chickens, whatever your plot produces. The church demands a tithe, 1/10 of everything you grow. The Lord demands fees for using his mill, his oven, his wine press. You cannot build your own. That would be illegal. If you want to marry, you pay a fee. If your daughter marries, you pay a fee. When your father dies and you inherit his obligations, you pay a fee. Every milestone in your life comes with a cost you can barely afford. The system survives because you have no alternative, so you comply. You wake before dawn and you work. Your work begins when darkness still clings to the fields. In spring, you plow. The plow is wood tipped with iron if you're lucky, just wood if you're not. It's heavy. Most peasants don't own an ox. They pull the plow themselves, or they share one animal between several families. You walk behind that plow for hours. Your hands blister, then bleed, then callus so thick you can barely feel anything. Your shoulders burn, your legs shake. You keep going because the field must be ready for planting, and if it's not ready, you don't eat next winter. Then comes weeding, bent over for hours, pulling weeds by hand. Your back screams. You ignore it. Everyone's back screams. Summer brings harvest. This is the most critical time of the year. You cut grain with a sickle, stalk by stalk, under a sun that bakes the ground hard. You work until your hands can barely grip the tool. You work until you can't stand straight anymore. The grain must be threshed, beaten with flails to separate seed from chaff, then winnowed. This takes days, sometimes weeks. Your body never rests. A cut from the sickle, a crushed finger from the flail, a twisted ankle in a furrow. So these injuries don't heal properly because you can't stop working long enough to let them. We know what this does to bodies. Archaeologists examining peasant skeletons find spines compressed from carrying heavy loads, joints worn down decades before they should be, healed fractures that set wrong, teeth ground to stumps from eating bread filled with grit from millstones, evidence of malnutrition in the bones themselves. This is what happens to every body, every year, from childhood until death. All this work has one purpose: food. But food here is never guaranteed. Your diet is grain, bread, porridge, more bread, more porridge. The bread is dark and dense, made from barley or rye. It tastes sour, sometimes bitter. You eat it anyway because it's what there is. If you have a garden plot, you might grow onions, cabbage, turnips. Or these add something to the porridge. Meat is rare. Hunting is forbidden. The forests belong to the nobility. Killing a deer is poaching, punishable by fines you cannot pay, or mutilation, or death. So meat comes only on feast days, or when an animal dies and must be eaten before it spoils. You do not go hungry every single day, but hunger is always close. Even in good years, you eat just enough to keep working. In bad years, you eat less. One failed harvest means rationing. 2 failed harvests in a row means famine. Famine is not dramatic, it's slow. First, you eat the seed grain you were saving for next year's planting. Then you slaughter animals you need for work. Then you forage for anything edible. Bark, roots, things that make you sick but fill your stomach. The old die first, then the very young, and then anyone whose body couldn't take one more day of not enough. But hunger is not the only thing that kills. You drink water every day, and every day you gamble with your life. The well serves the whole village. It's shallow, maybe 20 feet deep. Rainwater seeps into it. So does everything else. Animal waste from the fields, human waste from the latrines. Anything dead that fell in and wasn't noticed. You don't understand contamination. No one does. When dysentery spreads through the village, it feels random. Fever, cramps, diarrhea so severe it kills through dehydration in days. Children die fastest. Typhoid comes the same way. Sudden fever, confusion, weakness that pins you to your bed. There's no treatment, just rest and hoping your body is strong enough. And then there are illnesses no one expects. Something grows on rye in wet years, a fungus, invisible once it's ground into flour. The bread looks normal. Then people start convulsing, screaming about fire in their limbs, hallucinating. In extreme cases, blood flow to hands and feet cuts off, flesh turns black, fingers fall away. Villagers call it God's punishment. No one realizes it's the grain. Your house offers no protection from any of this. It's one room, wattle and daub walls, wooden frame, thatch roof. The floor is dirt. There's a fire pit in the center, but no chimney. Smoke fills the room and escapes through gaps in the roof. Your eyes burn constantly. Your lungs suffer for it. Animals live inside with you in winter. Their body heat keeps the house warmer. Their waste adds to the smell. Fleas breed in the straw bedding. Lice are everywhere. Rats move freely, nesting in the thatch, coming down at night to search for food. There's no privacy. Everyone sleeps in the same room. Everyone hears everything. Arguing, crying, sickness, death. There's no escape from any of it. And in this house, there is one danger that terrifies everyone: fire. Thatch burns fast. Once it starts, there's no stopping it. Houses are built close together. One fire spreads to the next. Entire sections of villages burn. You lose everything: your home, your food stores, your tools. By now, you might be wondering, how long can anyone survive like this? If you are born a peasant, your first challenge is surviving childhood. 1 in 3 children dies before age 5. Infections, malnutrition, accidents. Parents bury children regularly. Grief is private and brief because work doesn't stop for mourning. If you survive to adulthood, you might live into your 40s. Some make it to 50. These are the exceptions. Most bodies wear out by their mid-30s. Constant labor, poor nutrition, repeated illness. It accumulates until something finally breaks you. Women face additional danger. Childbirth kills frequently. There are no doctors, only midwives with experience but no real understanding of infection or complications. Some women survive multiple births, others die the first time. There's no way to predict it. And through all of this, there's another layer of control you cannot escape: the church. Religion shapes everything. It explains why you suffer, why you're poor, why your children die. It's God's will. It's a test of faith. It's punishment for sin. Because if your suffering is divinely ordained, questioning it becomes sinful. Accepting your place is virtue. Wanting more is greed. Disobeying your Lord is not just illegal, it's an offense against God's order. The church doesn't need soldiers to enforce this. It has fear of eternal damnation. And when earthly punishment is needed, it's brutal. Stocks in the village square, branding with hot iron for theft, mutilation for poaching. The body becomes a warning to others. But there's one more threat that overshadows everything else: war. War is frequent. Lords fight each other over land, inheritance, insults. When your lord goes to war, you go with him. Not because you're trained, because refusing is a crime. You leave your fields, your family, everything. You're handed a spear or a club and told to fight people you've never met over disputes you don't understand. You are not a soldier. You're a farmer pretending to be one, and you die just as easily. Even if you survive, the damage is done. Your crops weren't planted. Your family struggled without you. And sometimes war comes to you. Raiders, bandits, armies passing through. They take food, animals, anything valuable. They burn what they can't carry. Some villages never recover. This is what it means to be a medieval peasant. A life where you own nothing, control nothing, and survive only by enduring what would break most people. And yet people do survive. Not because life is kind, because they adapt. They lower expectations until simply being alive feels like success. They find hope in small things. A harvest that doesn't fail. A child who lives past 5. A winter that doesn't kill everyone. So when you imagine the medieval period, don't picture castles and feasts. Picture someone like you, waking in darkness, working a body already broken, living under rules they never chose, and deciding every single day to keep going. Not because the world cared, because stopping meant vanishing. That is a medieval peasant, not a hero, not a victim. A person surviving a world designed to grind them down, and somehow, against everything, still standing.